Hello everyone, Atkpwr here with another How to Build the Divisions in our Learning to Play the Game series here with 25th Panzergrenadier, a division that doesn't get a whole lot of love because it isn't that strong technically speaking, but something about it. I don't know why, I actually really like this division. There's really nothing super special, but it's just the right mix of units that, I don't know, it feels good to me. But no, this is probably a B or C tier division. Nothing super incredible about it. It does not have any outstanding strengths, but at the same time, it doesn't have horrible weaknesses. It's got one big one that can definitely be an issue. But it has a lot of solid stats otherwise. So let's dive into building this thing. If you guys enjoy this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and consider checking out the Patreon link down below. If you really love the channel and want to help me out, thank you to all those who have or are currently supporting me. It really does mean a lot. So first off, the income here, this division actually can swing both ways. So it works as a balanced division. You have plenty of depth. You have some great arty and stuff that can go really long. You have some pretty deep tabs that can definitely handle a balanced game. There's no doubt about it, which is why I build it balanced, of course. But there are some really aggressive elements of this division, specifically like the Recon cars and stuff, that could allow you to play it really aggressively as well as like Vanguard or Maverick. Although honestly, I'd actually lean more towards Vanguard if I was going to pick one, where you can really kind of get on your opponent early and carve out some good territory and hold from there. So I think this one can really kind of go both ways. Of course, you know me building it good old balanced. So let's dive into one of the strongest points of this deck, and that is the Recon tab. So this division comes with a full complement of German armored cars, and we know very well that those are very strong in the game. They still are, they have been the entire time, and they continue to be. So having the SPWs and SDKFZs here really does a lot. We're starting though with an Atkpwr here. I'm actually going to vet this once. I'm going to kind of I'm starting to vet my Atkpwrs a little more. I need them to spot a little better than they do. There's other options here. Really, the only one that's actually like anything that really matters here is the SDKFZ 250. It's very similar to this, to what we have on it now. What do I have it on? I can't even, like, I'm having trouble clicking on it. I'm having a moment. I can't because it's like in the deck already. There we go. This thing's fine. It's a little more expensive, but it's got, I don't know why it's faster. That's why. I was like, why did I pick this? It's faster. This thing gets you to the front line a fair bit faster, and then sticks around and still does some okay spotting on its own with some very high optics there. So not too much to complain about, especially with one vet. They're spotting pretty good. So I do like having some infantry recon. I don't want to fully depend on my armored cars because they're going to die. Like we're going to use them very aggressively, so they're going to die. Our next inclusion, of course, the SPW 233. They only come in A phase. You absolutely want these. Now, the question, no vet or veterancy. I don't see you needing 6 SPW 233s, and you really need them to land hits early on transports and stuff. So the extra veterancy really does help. And then they fire a little bit faster at 14 rounds per minute, which does increase their fire speed pretty noticeably in game. So I do think the veterancy is worth it. Would I double vet these? No. I definitely want at least 4 of them to at least cover, like, because most of the maps are kind of divided into like 3 sections. There's very noticeable like 3 distinct areas in the map, usually, left flank, center, right flank. I want 1 SPW for each flank, essentially, the 1 extra for where I want to go really hard. So 4 feels like the right number to me. B phase, the SPW 231s come in. You have to at least single vet. I definitely don't think it's worth double vetting these. You don't get a huge advantage to double vetting autocannon vehicles. It's not that there's no advantage. It's just not significant enough to usually be worth losing 4 SPWs. And these die. Like, you use these aggressively, they get up in infantry faces and support weapons faces. So they often die from little pushes into the back lines. So I definitely want 8 of these. These are phenomenal. You could bring them in A, but I definitely want 8 of them, especially in a balanced deck. I want to have armor cards going throughout the game. The other options here, BMW, terrible, more Atkpwr. If they came in any sort of like SPW 222 or something, then absolutely, but it doesn't. So it's not actually that exciting, unfortunately. If this had the 222, this would really be a phenomenal recon tab. The SDKFZ 250/10, I actually really like this unit. I really do. There's nothing about it I don't like. I just didn't have space for it, but it is a nice little, like, gotcha little half track for only 20 points. So if you're playing a division, if you know what you're going up against, so you're playing a Custom A or something, and your opponent has a lot of their own armor cars and stuff, this guy's great. Or like half tracks, when you're playing the American stuff, this little dude really can handle a lot of work for only 20 points. So I would definitely not sleep on that SDKFZ. Spade Troop, not necessary. They don't come in anything interesting. They're definitely not worth picking over the Atkpwr. So yeah, not taking them. Although I guess when you vet them once, I mean, this guy's then 30 points if you bring him with the same thing. And also then you have to remember to turn off their machine guns and stuff. Like you have to put this guy on return fire. It's just a little bit more micro you got to handle, but it is a little more survivable. So if you're really worried about your unit dying, then I guess you could bring in this for the higher survivability. Then finally, the SDK's at 250/8. I love these dudes, but this is only HE. He doesn't have any sort of heat shell or AP shell. So that's why I'm leaving this one at home today. But I definitely would not fault anyone for bringing this unit in. It has the same gun as the SPW233, but just the HE. So, you know, this is a very good HE gun. It's a good support weapon. But honestly, I'd probably take the 250/10 before I took the 250/8 because I don't really need more anti-infantry here. I need some anti-armor if I'm going to have that. So Recon Tab, really strong. This is one of the reasons you can play this division more aggressively if you feel so inclined. Infantry Tab. It's basically the most standard infantry tab you can get. It's not exactly, it's got a little bit of uniqueness here that does make it a little bit more flavorful. First being the Stolstrup MP44s. For 15 points, these guys are good. Are they amazing? No. Are they actually super good at CQC? Not particularly. MP44s are not phenomenal. But if you can catch a unit out with the 5 MP44s, like out in the open, moving between buildings or something, yeah, I mean, they put out some damage for 15 points. I mean, it certainly can get the job done. And it definitely doesn't hurt to have a little CQC unit for only 15 points at the beginning of the game. You can bring them in B phase as well. You get 12 of them, which isn't bad. But I'm using them in A as my main CQC in A. They don't last long. They're kind of just like a holding unit, just to hold on, toss their Molotov, run away sort of situation. You know, definitely not anything chunky in terms of an actual CQC fighter. Pioneer Fear, because why wouldn't you take a 20-point leader? Why are we taking the Kubel? Why am I not taking the Horsch? Well, okay, I know why. So here's the argument my brain always goes through with this. When you put your leaders in faster vehicles than your infantry, they get to the front line first, which sometimes is okay because that means you beat the opponent's like AT and stuff like at the beginning of the game to position. So that's nice. But on the flip side, sometimes that means the leader gets into the whole fray first and then gets killed. So I'm always like back and forth with the whole leader in the Horsch or leader in the Kubel thing. We'll leave in the Kubel for now, but that's the argument. That's both ways of it. Do you want your leader to get to the front line first to maybe avoid getting killed in a transport? Or are you afraid of your opponent beating you to the front line so your leader ends up running into the enemy's frontline troops and like dying? So, you know, could go either way. Then I have 2 cards of Panzergrens, both with Panzerfaust here. Just single vetted, so we have 12 Panzergrens here in A. Should be plenty at 30 points. That's a lot of points. That's what, 360 points right there of these infantry. Add on the, you know, nearly 100 points of these guys. You know, you got 400 some points of infantry here in A phase. It's plenty. It's plenty, especially when you're spending a lot of points on recon cars and stuff. B phase, then we get into double card of Sturm Pioneers. We need to have CQC. The CQC is not phenomenal, so it's got to last. And 20 Sturm Pioneers, they'll get you through, you know, about 10 minutes of C phase. You know, they should get you through B phase and about 10 minutes of C phase pretty well. Are they phenomenal? No. Do they get the job done? Yes. Then Panzergrens, MG26s. I actually really like these guys. I don't know why. For some reason, they just sit right for me. They're only 25 points, which is nice. Double MG26 performs pretty well. Honestly, it's an automatic rifle, which means these guys can fight at close range. You don't want them there, but like it's definitely better than having regular Panzergrens in the woods. You at least have some, you know, some fight to them. And again, only being 25 points is nice. You could definitely shift these guys into A phase and move the Panzergrens into B phase, like flip these 2 units if you want the cheaper. Actually, now that I even say it, I kind of like that. Yeah, I'm going to flip these guys. Put those cheap dudes in A phase here so I have the cheap, you know, so I have something to call in. Then these guys, unfortunately, are going to have to come in the SD KFZs, the KFZ 70 here. So yeah, that's B phase. Nothing super special here. And then finally, C phase, we have an unvetted card here of Panzergrens with the Panzerfaust and a card of Pioneers to go along with our CQC. Sturm Pioneers can't come in C, so that's why these guys are getting the nod here in C phase. Yeah, you need the CQC. You need it. Notice I'm not bringing any of the regular Panzergrens. Nothing really makes me angrier than my infantry being right next to a tank and not being able to kill them, especially if I've had the option to bring in something with AT. Yes, you lose out on 3 units. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter at all. There's really no loss here. So yeah, what am I taking? Erzatstruppen. I don't like these guys these days. I really don't think they do well. And I have other cheap infantry if I really need to hold the line somewhere for cheap. I just don't find this unit worth it. can't fit all our Pioneers in. And like I said, I'm not taking these Panzergrens over the Panzerfaust Panzergrens. Tank tab. The options here are limited. Stug 3s. A phase, B phase, C phase. Notice I'm double vetting them in A phase. This is because I'm probably not going to have enough points to call them all in A and B phase anyway. So why have single vet and have more availability? When in C phase, I'm getting 12 more, and 12 more Stug 3s should get me through the game. 21 Stug should be plenty. I'm leaving the leader at home. I don't really need it. I don't end up my tank leaders don't end up being very leadery most of the time, unless it's in a tank division where I'm calling in a lot of tanks together. So it doesn't really benefit much. The Panzer 3, it's kind of useless. Honestly, I definitely would not take it over a cart of Stugs. It's not that good. It's nice though, a 30-point armored leader. I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying you shouldn't take it, but it's also like, this gun is very poor. It performs very poorly. It kills very little. It always feels like these are going to be really cost efficient, and then they're not. So that's always my feeling on these. But it is cool that they're in here. This is one of the few divisions that has this unit. Support tab. Pretty solid. I go back and forth on how to build this. I mix this one around a lot. Flammenwerfer, of course, MG42, IG33, unfortunately only comes in A phase, and the way the transports work out, I have to bring it in the SDK of Z7 here. Commandant, and I'm bringing the ammo in C, and when we get to the RD tab, you'll see why. I would love to take the IG-18. This is a unit that bounces in and out of this tab. I don't feel like you need more MG42s. I mean, they're always nice. They're always nice to have, but you don't really necessarily need them. You know, the leaders is basically your choice. Do you want a Panzer III leader instead of your, Commandant? Me personally, I don't. The Feldgendarmerie, I'm sorry. The military police are kind of useless. We're not taking the Ersatz, and even if I did, I wouldn't take these guys. They're pretty much garbage. So, yeah, support tab. Love to get that IG-18 in there, but I just can never seem to find space for it. AT tab. This is pretty phenomenal. I mean, it's a pretty good AT tab. It's got a lot of solid units in it and gives you all the tools you kind of need to get by. Panzerschreck, Pack 38. Love Pack 38, especially at the beginning. You can only bring them in A phase, bring them in the horse, get into the front line, do some transport killing. It feels good. Pack 40 in A phase, Pack 40 in B phase. I mean, this obviously handles any medium tank in the game very efficiently when it actually lands a hit. Yeah, quite good. Martyr 2, it's my least favorite Martyr. I'll put it that way. This is my least favorite Martyr. It's the least cost efficient. I don't know. It just doesn't. I don't know why it just doesn't do it. Like, for some reason, Martyr 1s feel like they perform so much better. They're only 5 points less. Martyr 3s and 3Ms are also cheaper or just all around better. The Martyr 2 is the least good. It's got a little more armor. I think that's why it's more expensive, but it's still so little that everything pens it anyway. So not a big fan of these, but they're still very useful to have. B-phase card here with 6 single vet. A nice like sack unit that you really want to kill a Panther or a Tiger, get up close with this thing, and it's 100% worth losing this unit to kill the heavy tank. Finally, in B phase, we have a Pack 43, which is a nice round out to this AT tab, allowing it to really handle any kind of division. It gives the division the flexibility to actually kill IS-2s and King Tigers, and obviously Panthers and Tigers go down to this quite easily. So having this in the deck is actually really helpful and kind of shores up that gap of not having any big tanks yourself. You can handle bigger things with this AT tab. Things I'm not taking, the Panzerbusch. It's meh. It's very mid. I used to hate this thing. I used to think it was terrible. Using it in 78 Sturm showed me that it's not terrible, but it's also like the last choice. It's like the last thing you want to use if you have to use something. It can get work done. It really can with its really fast fire rate. It barely ever misses. And, it is APCR, so they cause some crits, but it's still not a very good unit. This is where the division really stumbles. Anti-air is horrendous. Like, really quite bad. It's the same as Hartnick, where you really have nothing to work with. You have a singular card of SDK Z71, which I'm bringing in B phase because I want to have more good AA for the long game. And then you have one card of 20 mils, which you can bring with the vehicle, which is nice. It's helpful, but they're still 20 mils and they still suck balls. So there's no getting around that fact. You almost have to single vet these. So with a commander, you can get them to triple vet, and then they like sort of perform okay. They do shoot things down. I will give them that. If you fly over some 20 mils for a little bit, they will die. They can shoot stuff down, especially like bad resilience fighters and stuff, especially on triple vet. These guys can put some damage out, but they're not stopping any planes. It's very hard to rely on these to actually stop a plane from killing you. So yeah, this is where the division suffers, is in this air tab. AA tab. I really wish they would add some more AA to this division. It would make it so much more viable to play. One of the best things about this division, Arty tab. If you like playing artillery, this is a division to enjoy because, ooh, it's got some big boomies. Big booms. So, Batterie 4 and B phase, more leaders, of course. Then we have the phenomenal, I believe it's Czech, K35, 105. These things are fantastic. Very similar to the Romanian 100 mils, but these are 105 mils, so they're a teeny bit better. And they have a massive rate of fire at 8 rounds a minute. Well, I should say the Romanian is a little better because their vet curve is better. You know, you can, when you double vet the Romanian guns, they get 4 in B phase, where this one you no vet and still get 4 in B phase. So the vet curve is a little worse, but this unit is still very good as an arty piece. It fires very fast. It aims relatively fast. This thing is, for me, actually the highlight of this arty tab. But there's a lot of good tools here. The Nebelwerfer 300 mil, fantastic. Just great. I mean, everyone who's used this unit knows it's fantastic. It's like the creme de la creme of rocket artillery. This is the line. This is what all of the rocket artillery strive to be, is the 300 mil Nebelwerfer 42. This thing is phenomenal. Like, it's just great. Anything you aim this at is probably going to die. It's very accurate. It fires relatively fast. It's 6 rounds. It takes forever to reload, but that's every rocket arty. And it's really not even that forever-y. It just takes time, of course. So yeah, this is your bunker buster, break up an enemy force in C phase, crack open their line unit. It's very good. You can't leave home without this thing. And finally, for the funsies, we have the 220 millimeter howitzer. This thing is a monstrosity. It's big. It's very big. Now, if we double vet it, does it get more? Okay. So one thing you might want to consider doing is tossing that Batterie 4 next to one of these things. It does get an extra rate of fire. You know, I mean, it's a big boomy. But this unit is not actually that good. Let me just make sure that is clear. This unit is not fantastic. You know, it's very expensive at 180 points with the ammo, and you want the ammo. You really need it. It's only got 18 shells. It takes absolutely forever to aim. Like, it takes like a solid 30 seconds for this thing, up to a minute. I don't even remember how. It's really long. To this thing to get on target. It fires slow, of course. You know, so no, it's not that great. When it hits something, yeah, it does damage. I mean, this is a phenomenal counter battery gun, because especially when you get that first shot off, you know, it almost immediately pins the opponent's artillery, and it really can dominate an arty battle. But for targeting normal units and stuff, it's really rough because it takes so long to aim. So this thing, a little bit of a meme unit when it really comes down to it, but it is fun AF. Other things we're not taking, Beobachter, we don't need more radio at all. 81 mil mortar, 120 mil mortar, we don't need it. I mean, you can take it. There's plenty of slots here. You know, you can cut something else out. But I can't really find room for it. I really don't want my infantry tab getting any smaller. But it's a mortar. It's good. It does good stuff. The K331 105. I mean, this thing is okay at 80 points. It's not bad. It has a pretty good rate of fire because, well, here I have the veterancy on it, but I would probably take it with veterancy to get that 1 extra rate of fire and only lose 1. Problem is they only come in A phase. They're 100% not better than the K35 by any stretch of the imagination. And yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason to take more medium arty, especially if you could just take an SK18, which is hands down better than this K331. Like, I don't know why you would take, yeah, this is better. Okay, so if you're going to take more medium arty, take the SK18. And finally, with the standard FH18 150 mil. I mean, yeah, it's probably better. It's definitely better than the 220 at the end of the day. But, I mean, come on. Big, giant artillery. It's fun. Yeah, it goes boom really big. Who doesn't love that? And finally, the air tab. It's an okay air tab. It's got some good tools, and it's definitely lacking in others. The thing is very much lacking in fighters. BF-109 G4s are underwhelming, to say the least. They're really not that good. They're fast. They're zippy. But their loadout is very small. It takes them a long time to shoot a plane down. Even if they get in the back of a bomber, you're kind of crossing your fingers that they'll actually shoot it down. The Me-410s are great. I mean, Me-410s are very solid airplanes. Good bomb loadout on this one. 250 kilogram bombs will kill most things. Truthfully, the Me-410 with the 95 points of the 850 kilogram bombs, this one's pretty solid too. I mean, 850 kilograms when you are dive bombing is pretty good. If it's from a bomber, like high flying bomber, terrible. Never take it. But from a dive bomber, it's okay. Like I tried to fit the 95.1 in A phase and then just said screw it because I doubt I'll bring in a bomber in A phase at all because we're unbalanced. But, you know, if you want to take those in B instead of the 105.1s, actually I'm going to do that. I think that's reasonable. Obviously the 250 is more dangerous, but this one generally gets the job done pretty good. And then finally, ME410A1U4, the AT plane. This is not a good AT plane. Let me be very clear about this. It looks good on paper. Like, this looks great. 150 millimeters of penetration, 46 rounds a minute. So, it should get several shots off. It should be almost as good as a Ju-87 because then it also has medium resilience. And here's where things take the turn. The plane, just like all the other ME410s, goes 540 kilometers an hour, right? This one goes 570. This is 540. It's too fast. So it ends up only getting 2 or 3 shots out of this gun. The first shot usually misses or gets bounced because your plane is 1,500 meters away. So the actual penetration is closer to like 90, 100 millimeters, somewhere in that zone. And then its second shot can hit, but it needs to penetrate. And sometimes not, you get a third shot, which also needs to penetrate to get the kill. It's rough. It doesn't work out very often at all. This plane very rarely kills in one pass. And that really sucks because then it has a terrible turning radius. It takes like 10 minutes to turn this thing all the way around to get another gun run. It's really an annoying plane to use. It looks like it should be so good on paper. It's so solid with so many good stats. But this combination, if this thing fired a little bit faster, then it might be good. But the way it is set up currently, it sucks kind of hard. It just cannot get the job done. It's really kind of disappointing, actually. I'm still taking it because there are situations where you really need to kill a tank and it's like a super heavy or something and your Pack 43s are under pressure and you can't get them in a position. Okay, it happens. This can get the job done a little bit, but I almost consider this more as a clean up a whole bunch of light armor stuff over a kill medium tanks and heavy tanks because it sucks. It really is a frustrating plane to use because it should be good and it's not at all. So this is how I have a balanced 25th Panzergrenadier built. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to check out the video tomorrow where I play this division in the quick play queue and give it a roll and see if my little pet deck still holds up like it used to. If you guys enjoyed this, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and consider checking out that Patreon link down below. Thanks a bunch, guys, and have a fantastic day.